This right here is some bullshit.
Something's wrong.
But not as much bullshit as this right here. Tell me, what's the point of having super speed if you could get done dirty like this? How can you be the fastest in your verse and get treated like this? I'm serious, tell me, because this shit should not be happening. Let me calm down a bit. I don't need the blood pressure rising through the roof. Seriously though, why is it that anytime a character is gifted with super speed, they get inconvenienced despite the CVS receipt level of examples where their speed should have prevented any inconveniences? Hey man, trust me, it sucks to say this, but super speed is highly overrated when it's put into writing. Fast when the plot demands it, and slow when the plot demands it. Yep, the writing for super speed is as consistent as your grandmother's cooking the past few Thanksgiving dinners. It's time to take the big spoon out of Granny's hand and have her sit out of the kitchen. Now, am I being a bit of a grumpy old man for pointing this out? No, because I'm not old or grumpy. Are we always gonna fall back on the, it's a video game, or come on, it's just a cartoon, or it's not a big deal, it's a comic book with comic book logic? At what point can we finally start calling this shit out? By the way, that was a rhetorical question. You don't need to look too far to find a bunch of negative Nancys online. Well shit, I guess that makes me the negative Nancy. A god tier power shouldn't be getting fucked sideways like this. It's ridiculous. Imagine being fast enough to time travel, throw lightning, phase through matter, have super speed thinking, but still have this shit happen to you. A few years back, Madvocate made a video going over the CW Flash show, where he looked at every encounter Barry had with metahumans. I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's the kind of shit that goes in my head when I watch superhero media. The only time anyone with super speed should struggle is when they're going up against someone else that has it, or someone who can negate their speed. So, am I suggesting that characters with super speed should no-diff everyone they go up against? I mean, 99% of the time, sure. Characters with super speed should be able to beat or neutralize their opponents, assuming they don't have their durability maxed out. But at the very least, the speedster shouldn't be touched. The thing with super speed is that while their speed might be their primary power, they automatically have secondary powers as well. Those main secondary powers would be thinking extremely fast, seeing things in slow motion or vision that adjust proportional to their speed so that they can move quickly without crashing into everything, and natural resistance to the laws of physics. Anyone without these secondary powers would run into a building to be crushed. Either that or they burn to death before hitting the side of a building. If characters with super speed can think with their fast-ass brains and see with their slow-down vision when moving exceptionally fast, they should react and dodge attacks from exceptionally slower opponents. This is also a problem with writing any OP character. If you want there to be physical stakes, you have to scale up your antagonists and make them in the same ballpark in terms of power. If not, you'll have randoms clowning your OP character, when that shouldn't be the case. If your character's whole thing is being super fast, you shit all over them and disrespect them by having someone with normal ass speed landing attacks on them. Why even make them fast in the first place? As with anything, how competent a character is with their superpower depends on who's writing them, and ultimately the writing itself. One writing team might make Quicksilver safely rescue everyone in a mansion before a massive explosion goes off, while another writing team will have him riddled with holes like Swiss cheese from not dodging bullets. Like, you write them to be fast enough to react to shit like this, but still get caught like this. Okay, let me stop. I don't know about you guys, but as a kid, whenever I thought about super speed, I would think of robbing banks, pranking the homies, reaching home faster, showing off in sports, you know, classic shit. On paper, super speed feels like it should be a god tier level of power, and it really is, but it slowly falls apart when one begins writing it. In no way am I saying that if you're the Flash, you need to constantly be in Flash time to win every fight and save the day. That would be boring. But it's nice to know it's right there in your back pocket when you really need it. And for those who don't know, Flash time is when everything around the speedster is slowed down to the point that it seems like time itself is frozen because the speedster is moving that fast. I know I just said characters like the Flash who can tap into it don't need to always do it, but there's no way you can be capable of that and still allow shit like getting shot and being decapitated to happen, especially when your brain is exceptionally fast as well. Yeah, I realize I keep going back to Injustice 2 and the Injustice movie, but seriously man, yes, Deadshot's whole thing is not missing. I get that, cool. You can say he predicted Flash's path, sure. My thing is, by the time he aims where he believes the Flash will be, the Flash should be so far gone he could no longer see him. Hell, Deadshot shouldn't even be able to see the Flash in the first place. But bro, he has a specialized scope and tech. Okay man, I'll buy it. I mean, I don't really buy it, but f it, I'll play along. After all, to be fair, it's not like the Flash is constantly running at his top speed. But again, this goes back to consistency, because how many times have you all watched something where a villain pulls off something super effective against a hero, only for the villain to magically forget about it in a future encounter with the hero? If we wanted to, we could constantly nitpick every superpower and call out the plot armor and the decision making of some characters, but none of them are as inconsistent as characters with super speed. But at the same time, stakes would only feel real if they only went up against other speedsters, and having little variety can be pretty boring. As cool as Reverse Flash is, how many times are you gonna be fine with constantly seeing him or other speedsters before you get tired of them and seeing the same powers? Variety. Variety is always key. The more I sit back and think about it, the way super speed is typically handled in fiction, it might be top 2 worst power to have right besides immortality. Yeah, immortality sounds cool, not having to worry about death or aging, living to see the advancements of humanity, how far they could reach, watching the downfall of Starbucks. That all sounds dope. Until you outlive everyone and everything you love and become a lonely hollow shell, but I'm not even gonna get into that today. With everything I've said, I don't want you to leave thinking I hate super speed. I think it's amazing. It's just written poorly because it's a difficult thing to write. But if I were to continue being a negative Nancy here, if someone is actually gonna write a consistent character who has super speed, I don't think they could really be OP and be on the Flash's level. So when they finally catch L's and get touched up in fights, it makes sense. And this isn't to say it's not cool seeing some OP shit every now and then, but I feel like when it becomes more of the norm, with trying to outdo its predecessors or trying to show some insane shit, that's where you kinda make it more difficult for yourself. Now you got an OP character who's making illogical decisions and it's not even a character flaw, as it's more of a writing flaw, and you have your inconsistencies highlighted. But then again, the fix-all is always to give these OP characters some insane drawbacks. Like in Flash time, I'm not sure Barry could stay in that state for a long period of time, and if he does, it's pretty taxing on his body. Their drawbacks has to be something that their opponents can capitalize off of. Anyway, this was just a messy ass rant. I'm tired of seeing characters with super speed get hoed over some bullshit.